Working in sales almost ruined my life. And it actually also turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. So I'm going to explain that to you in this video. If you guys are new here, my name's David. I used to be a six-figure sales rep. I managed a team for a super highly sought-after cybersecurity company. Did really well in my sales career. Went from basically making $40,000 to making 150 grand in about 3 years. Helped get a company sold. It was an amazing journey. I love sales. I think salespeople are the best people in the world. And my channel, I recently launched here, is dedicated to helping sales reps who feel like there's something more that they want out of life, achieve those dreams, and to build an escape plan for themselves so that they can use the skills that they already have to build something that they own. So who is this video for, first of all, before I jump into it? If you're watching this video and you work in sales and you have the types of thoughts in the back of your mind that are like, I wonder if I am meant for something more, I wonder if I could start a business, I want you to know that most people don't have these thoughts. I know it seems on the internet like everybody's starting a business, but most people don't think that way. And I know some of you watching this video might also love sales. You're in corporate America, you're all about it. That was me for a long time. So I understand that mindset. And this video might offend you a little bit as I sort of get further into it and tell more of my story, but it might be the best thing that you hear. So I encourage everybody to remain positive. I'm not throwing rocks at salespeople. I love salespeople. I come from the sales background, and I think sales is the most valuable skill that you can possibly have. Now, without that out of the way, let's jump into the video. If you vibe with this, give me a subscribe on the channel, hit me with a like, drop a comment, let me know what types of sales you're in. My goal is to connect with as many salespeople as I possibly can. So how did sales almost ruin my life, and how did it end up being the best thing to ever happen to me? So I told you a little bit of my story at the start of this video. I was doing really well in sales, and really, that is when I first encountered the first thing that almost ruined my life, which was an extremely high income. In a really short amount of time, I basically went from a commission-only recruiter making like $20,000 a year, still living at home, barely able to pay my rent, to being hired by a cybersecurity startup as one of their first sales reps, making $45,000 a year base with an on-target earning between $75,000 and $85,000. Now, this was back in 2013 when I joined the company, which was an insane amount of money for me at the time. I all of a sudden went from making so much money I couldn't leave my parents' home to making more money than my highest paying friend in my network. I was in my early 20s. This was a huge opportunity for me. And this started getting me thinking that like I never want to leave my sales career, because at that time, all that really mattered to me was making money. I wanted to leave my parents' house. I wanted to be able to maybe buy a home someday, travel, have expendable income, have a cool car, BMW or something. And very quickly, in a really short amount of time, that was all possible. I had the cool apartment all of a sudden. I had a really sick car. I had the best territory I could have possibly asked for. I had San Francisco, Seattle, and Portland, which are like the coolest cities. I was traveling all the time, was racking up frequent flyer miles. And I firmly had on my wrists what I call the golden handcuffs. I could see my future. I was checking every box. I was getting the promotions. I was the top performer. I was the best, right? I was like, okay, I'm a manager in this short amount of time. 2 years from now, I'll probably be a director, maybe 3 years. 5 years from then, I'll be a VP. I'll be making $250,000 to $400,000 a year, depending on how I play my cards. And I could see the path that was in front of me. The thing was, during the 3 years that I was with this company, I had tried starting 3 businesses. And if I was honest with myself, I didn't ever see the type of life that I was building for myself. I didn't ever want to be a corporate executive. And that was what I was on the path to become. And I just took those cards because that was what was handed to me for my hard work, right? I worked hard. I put in the hours. I received the accolades. I would receive the income and the promotions that would come along with that. And it was a very automatic type of life. Every day was the same. And it was predictable. And because it was predictable, I thought that that was what I wanted out of life. And one morning, I decided to take a look around. I'd been on the first vacation in 3 years with my now wife. We went to Jamaica, and it was the first time that I took a pause. And I remember floating in the surf. I had like half a keg of Red Stripe in me, and I was looking up at the sky, beautiful Jamaican sky. It was like golden hour. And all of a sudden, it was like I took a pause for the first time. And all of those thoughts in the back of my mind wondering what was possible in my life and what I could build for myself and what like my dream life really looked like awoke in me. And because I'd been working so hard, like I had never like given myself to like process these thoughts, right? And there's this quote that says, "A salary is the drug they give employees to forget about their dreams." And I had forgotten about my dreams. I had completely blocked them out of my mind. And at that time, I thought about the people that were living the life that was 10 years ahead of me, right? If I became a director, if I became a VP, I thought about the directors and VPs at the company that I was working for. And I looked at them in my head and I thought to myself, I've got mad respect for these guys. I love the material things that they have. I love the life they have. They've got families. That's awesome. I'm happy for them. I respect them. I'm grateful for their mentorship, but I don't want that out of life. And it was like a reckoning because I realized that I was building my life in the wrong direction for myself, for what I really wanted out of it. And a lot of people want that. You might be watching this and be thinking to yourself, like, my business partner now, Derek, just started a family, just had his first kid. He's settled down in a beautiful mountain town in Colorado. And I love Derek, but I also don't want the exact same things that Derek wants. But maybe you do. Maybe you want that family, you want that life. And that's a great path for a lot of people. But if you're watching this and you're thinking different, like me, there's better things out there for you. And because of all this, I also had blinders on to what was really possible. I saw one single path in front of me, the sales path, the sales career, the VP. Maybe one day I would become a CEO or something, but I had let these dreams of mine of these businesses that I could start become dormant. I had given up. And I remember floating in the surf, and I came back and it was like the last night of the trip, and my wife was talking to me and she's like, "Why are you so sad? Why are you so quiet? Hasn't this just been like the best trip?" And I remember telling her, and I was like, I think I just realized that I'm really unhappy in my job. And she like already knew that innately because she's an empath and she knows these things. But she's like, "Yeah, that makes sense." And we started talking about maybe taking a pay cut, maybe going and doing something else. And I was like, I really think that I need to figure out a new business idea to start. I've had 3 failures now, 3 opportunities to learn. What could I build? And I remember coming back from that trip and I texted my now business partner, Derek, because we had known each other for a long time. And he was on a similar path at a different company. And I texted him and I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. Would you be interested in like putting heads together and joining forces?" And he texted me back and he was like, "Funny you mentioned that. I'm actually feeling kind of burnt out in my current role. Let's have a chat." And that text and that conversation that I had with my wife and that floating in the surf and the timing of all that was the single biggest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And I credit those 3 circumstances as saving my life, because I don't think that if I had stayed on the path that I was on, that I would feel fulfilled, that I would be happy, that I would really be maximizing what I'm actually capable of. And the thing that I've realized is that sales is the best possible skill that you can have. Being in sales was the best thing that ever happened to me. Learning to sell, learning to build relationships, learning to call and overcome objection, and being resilient and strong and steadfast and consistent and disciplined in my work. These are the best possible skills that you can have as an entrepreneur. Michael Dell, Larry Ellison that started Oracle, Mark Cuban. These guys all started in sales and then built themselves up into some of the most prolific entrepreneurs of our time. So in many ways, working in sales is the best thing that ever happened to me. I just happened to plan my exit at the right time. And I share this as a cautionary tale if you've made it to this point in the video and this is resonating with you, that if you're in sales and you feel like you've been in sales for too long and you have the thoughts in the back of your mind that are like, I don't know what vehicle to start, I don't know what business to start, you need to scratch that itch, because I don't want you to wake up 10 years down the line from now and wonder what could have been. Because when I look back, it's now been 10 years since this experience that I had, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm so grateful that I took action on those feelings that I had. It would have been so easy to keep doing the same thing that I was doing. And I never would have developed what I call my life's mission, right? Sales is an amazing skill, but it isn't a calling, right? Sales is something that you can use. It's a weapon in your arsenal. It's something that 99% of entrepreneurs don't have because they don't start in sales. But I don't see sales and working a sales job as what I would call your life's work, right? When you look back on your life and you want to feel fulfilled in your work and what it is that you do is closing deals and like growing shareholder value and helping some tech company install or purchase like some sort of CRM. Is that really what you want your life's work to be? And maybe some of you are watching this and you're like, hell yeah, all I care about is the money. Like, that's cool. Respect. Dope. But for me, I wanted something more, right? Now, what I realized in those first 3 failed businesses is that I didn't actually have any experience in what I was starting, and it really wasn't that good of an idea. So when Derek and I joined forces, we came across a model called a lead generation agency, which is what we run today, which used our sales skills as an unfair competitive advantage, which is what I recommend most people do, is go into something that you can build using your sales skills, like a service-based business where you can cold call and cold email and generate clients versus going to things like e-com or starting a brick and mortar location or these things. These things really mess people up. Super high overhead, areas that you have no experience. Like, starting a business is difficult enough, and this is something that I learned and why I say that sales is the best thing that ever happened to me, because I took those sales skills that I had and I rolled it into a business that I could start quickly. We got our first client paying us thousands of dollars in a couple of weeks. And that further just fractured my belief systems of what my time was worth and what was possible in life. So I think I'm going to leave this video there, a little bit shorter than some of the other videos that I posted, or so I think. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What type of sales are you in if you've made it this far in the video? And for those of you that maybe want to have a chat, maybe want to put together an escape sales plan, which is what I've helped about 1,300 9-to-5ers in sales reps put together. If you're like, hey Dave, I want to understand more of what you mean by building your life's work and building your life's mission, I'd love to have a chat. My socials are in the description down below, as is a link to what I call the sales rep escape plan. There's a full video there, breaks down the whole process of what we do, and on the other side of that video, if it resonates, if it sounds interesting, if it sounds like something that would interest you, there's a link to our calendar where you can schedule a call with us. I'd love to chat with you. But like I said, lots of videos like this coming in the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to put as much value on this channel as I possibly can. I have so much to say to the sales reps that I love, that I want to help, that want to start their life's mission. Drop a subscribe, drop a like to support the channel. Much love. We'll see you in the next video.